All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
For people who can't drive, it's a transportation problem, I'm sure, especially for senior citizens.
Now at 6, neighbors say they're concerned about the impact pharmacy closures will have on some of the most vulnerable people in our society. We'll hear more from them in less than 10 minutes from now.
Oh, good morning to you. Happy Thursday. Thanks so much for checking in with us, America Arias.
And I'm Bridget Burlow. One more day till Friday. It makes it a little easier to wake up in the morning when you know you're that close. The rain is taking a break for now, at least, but the road's a little damp there, Rachel.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a bit of a heavier rain come through in eastern Connecticut, a couple of rumbles of thunder overnight. Now it's foggy. We have a couple of stray showers out there, but the worst of the rain is coming to an end. And I think for the most part this afternoon will be mostly cloudy, and there could be an isolated shower, maybe even a brief downpour later on today, but I do think outdoor activities will be okay. On our satellite and radar picture now, we have the most fog that is to the western part of our state, and eastern areas dealing with the last bit of rain over on 395 in Killingly, as well up towards northeastern Connecticut. Here's the fog down to a 0-mile visibility in Chester. It's down to a quarter in Waterbury, a little less than a mile over in Danbury now too. So moving forward, the rain comes to an end by 11 o'clock. It's mostly cloudy. There are going to be some pops of sun later on today as well, but a brief shower chance or maybe a couple of raindrops certainly possible throughout the day today too. I wouldn't go canceling any outdoor activities for the rain chance that we have. We are warmer than this time yesterday. Temperatures are sitting in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. We'll move all the way up to the 70s this afternoon for the kids that are coming home from school. Outdoor activities, again, after school activities should be okay. Just keep a close eye on the sky. As we check in with the roads now here at 6:02, we are looking okay across the board. A live look outside over in New Britain as well as in New Haven this morning. And this is showing you that the roadways are wet, but we have light volume at this hour. We also are dealing with the fog. So there's Fairfield, a little bit more volume up over in the Fairfield County area. However, things are still looking good at this hour. A little bit of a delay there. Middletown this morning on 91 looks just fine. Over to you.
Well, layoffs are looming. And at New Haven Public Schools, it could mean some big changes to how students learn.
Yeah, Fox 61's Keith McGilvery is live in Hartford this morning with reaction from students and educators. Good morning, Keith.
Bridget and Erica, good morning. The district says it's strapped for cash, and these budget woes could impact teachers.
New Haven educators have been put on notice. The city's school district says its budget deficit has grown to more than $23 million, and educators could take the hit. We learned Wednesday night that the Board of Education is anticipating teacher and staff reductions at a dozen schools for next year. The superintendent previously said that without help from the state, she'll be forced to increase class sizes and cut more than 120 positions. On Monday night, student Jason Martinez and media specialist Annalise Jorgensen took their concerns directly to the Board of Education.
Today, I testify against the proposed cuts to New Haven Public Schools, cuts that threaten to remove librarians and teachers. These aren't just budget lines or expendable roles. These are people, support systems who shape student lives every single day.
But removing libraries would steer you far away from achieving the dream of true educational equity for our students. Top performing public schools in Connecticut all have libraries staffed with certified school librarians.
The superintendent says without help, it will be more than just educators whose jobs could be on the line. She says the district may have to do away with some sports and close some schools altogether.
And the district says in some cases it will be eliminating positions that either are or will be vacant come the start of the new school year. Right now, it is unclear as to how many teachers could be eliminated at those 12 schools or what those specific schools are. That list was not shared. In Hartford, I'm Keith McGilvery, Fox 61.
All right, Keith, a sad situation happening in New Haven. Thank you very much. Now at 6, a teen in Waterbury faces charges after police say he brought a handgun on a school bus yesterday morning.
Yeah, and the discovery put Wilby High School into lockdown. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules is in Waterbury with more on how this all unfolded.
Officers found the 15-year-old with an unloaded handgun. A parent in the district tells me she's thankful the situation didn't escalate. Wednesday morning, a student at Wilby High School told a staff member that a student showed them a gun on the bus ride to school. The staff member told the Waterbury Police Department school resource officer. The school was then put under a lockdown. Police found the 15-year-old with the gun and took him into custody. They say the gun was not loaded. A parent in Waterbury that wanted to remain off camera says this situation could have been much worse. She says she's thankful the school and police reacted so quickly.
I mean, it's pretty scary, I would say, just to think that, things like that are still going on, but it's good that it didn't, progress into something worse.
It's terrible, but it doesn't shock me. It happens all the time, it seems like. You never heard of nothing like that back when I was going to school.
The teen now faces charges including threatening in the first degree and risk of injury to a minor. After the lockdown ended, students returned back to class and no injuries were reported. In Waterbury, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
Well, several big-name pharmacy chains have closed stores in Connecticut to cut costs. And that has some people worried that they're going to have to travel further to get their important medications. Fox 61's Joe Monty is in Naugatuck, where Rite Aid is set to close for good.
The Rite Aid on Rubber Ave in Naugatuck is set to close May 19th. This comes as large pharmaceutical companies are closing shops all around the state. Some say this could be a new opportunity for local mom-and-pop pharmaceutical shops, but others say they're sad to see the Rite Aid go.
We're heartbroken when we read this morning in the paper. You couldn't ask for a better staff.
Joanne Aquavia, a loyal Rite Aid customer, always had good experiences at the store. With the Rite Aid closing, she and many others are going to have to get their prescriptions somewhere else. Sanjay Patel, pharmacist and owner of Naugatuck Pharmacy, says people are already considering his family-owned store as a perfect alternative.
We provide many of the services people are looking for and more than what the chain stores is. We have free deliveries at Naugatuck Pharmacy, so many of the customers are looking for things like that. We do packagings, unit dose, maintenance of medications on a regular basis.
As a pharmacy owner, Patel understands some of the issues Rite Aid and other chain stores are going through, and it's not a lack of customers.
The biggest problem is the pharmacy benefit manager, the PBMs who handle the processing of the claims for pharmacies. They've been, dictating many of the terms on the pharmacy, which is not beneficial or not at least at an equal level to sustain businesses.
Patel says pharmacies are losing money because they're not being paid enough for some prescriptions by insurance companies. Like restaurants and department stores, many of the big pharmaceutical chains moved into towns and forced small, family-owned stores that couldn't compete to close. Now the big chain stores are mostly what's left. With many of them closing up shop at alarming rates, Yale School of Medicine warns of what they call pharmacy deserts. An article posted back in April says more than 90% of prescriptions in the U.S. are filled by local pharmacies. And if too many pharmacies close, people will not have proper access to medications or vaccines and other public health necessities. Aquavia also worries about access for a particular part of the population.
For people who can't drive, it's a transportation problem, I'm sure, especially for senior citizens.
If these closures continue, parts of Connecticut could become pharmacy deserts. People are encouraged to explore other pharmacy options in case the one you've been going to for years is getting ready to close. For more information on the closures, check out our website, fox61.com. In Naugatuck, Joe Monty, Fox 61.
At the state capitol, there's a push for new eviction protections for renters. State lawmakers will decide if the so-called Just Cause bill will move forward. And Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot spoke with people who want the proposal to turn reality.
Calls to support what's being called the Just Cause bill are louder than ever. If passed, this bill would protect tenants from being evicted from their homes for no reason. Tenants are calling on the House leadership to bring House Bill 6889 to a vote. Connecticut's Just Cause law requires landlords to provide justification in order to evict tenants over the age of 62 or tenants with disabilities. Other renters don't have that protection, which is why people want the law expanded to include all renters.
Happening in the state of Connecticut is happening within the bigger picture of our country right now. The federal government is talking about cutting HUD, cutting Section 8, cutting fair housing enforcement, rolling back civil rights protections. And yet our state government is not recognizing that Just Cause is a really vital anti-discrimination, anti-retaliation protection that tenants need in this climate more than ever.
Luke Melanakos Harrison, an organizer with Connecticut Tenants Union, says without this bill, more people could end up unhoused in our state. The last day of the legislative session is June 4th. In Hartford, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Okay, thank you. All right, 6:10 now, and new this morning, lawmakers in the state Senate passed a measure to regulate the development and use of artificial intelligence here in Connecticut. It still needs to pass the State House, and then the governor will have to sign it into law. The measure calls for the Board of Regents for Higher Ed to create the Connecticut AI Academy, and also calls for a technology advisory board. It would set up several programs for AI development and training, and rules would be created to prevent discrimination and abuse within an AI algorithm.
And just hours earlier, the State House passed a bill to better protect kids online. The measure was proposed by Attorney General William Tong to push back on social media addiction. It would prevent anyone under the age of 18 from being exposed to harmful and addictive content without parental consent. It would also establish a series of default settings for account privacy, and the measure would limit what hours a social media platform can send push notifications to a child or teen. Attorney General Tong reacted to the news in a statement saying in part, quote, "The amount of time our teenagers spend each day scrolling on social media is deeply destructive to their learning, relationships, and mental health. We know these platforms are addictive by design, with algorithms and constant alert honed to maximize profit by overriding self-control. The bill is about giving parents the control necessary to make safe choices for their children."